Right, 3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the channel and yet another episode of the Strength Familia Podcast. Today we got Josh Densey right here.
Glad to be here.
We were supposed to actually do this yesterday, but I was busy, so I appreciate him working things out in his schedule to where he can make this happen today. Um, I'm gonna let him go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about himself and his background, and so go ahead, shoot.
As y'all know, my name is Josh. I come from a simple background, mainly like dealing with anxiety, a lot of anger growing up. So kind of kept myself sheltered in. Really didn't talk to too many people. Always kept to myself. I'm still that way now. I'm a very nonchalant person. But as growing up, you just didn't fit in, and you feel like people just didn't like you.
Yeah.
So when I felt like people didn't like me, I just kind of steered away. It took me a long time to come into my own.
To get comfortable.
Yeah. And as I did do that growing up, when my dad died when I was 12, that really took a hard toll on me. It was 2 days before Christmas.
Dang, man.
So I was in a rage mode growing up the whole time. Didn't have any direction on what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do anything. I was mad at the world, real pissed off. And I just lived with anger and didn't care anything because, like, he was my shelter. He was, like, kind of like my hero.
Yeah,
and I always looked up to him, and he helped me get through a lot. So when I felt like I lost him, a big part of me died too. And I kind of blamed myself, and I always blame myself for situations that I shouldn't have to blame myself for. And I had to kind of learn to kind of forgive myself and actually love myself, because I always want to be accepted.
Yeah.
I always felt like people didn't accept me, but it was all a mental thing.
So why do you blame yourself if you don't mind me asking?
I blame myself because I felt like I was just bad luck. I just felt like I wasn't the cool kid. I wasn't the guy that people could have fun with, the guy that did, like, even with, family.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, play with them, play with each other. I sat by myself, played by myself, because I felt like I wasn't athletic as them. I couldn't do, all the stuff they can do.
Yeah.
Hell, I ain't know I ride the bike till I was 9. And they was riding bikes and I was just watching. So I felt like the outcast, and I felt like, hey, they'll be better on their own, playing with themselves, instead of me dragging them down.
Man, but I mean, I know that you're a father like myself, and I mean, with our kids, we love our kids no matter what. It's a different kind of love, and it's not, no matter their talents or what they can do or the pace that they I guess progress. That doesn't mean anything to us. We're gonna love them no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're a father, so you know how that is. So I mean, I don't really think. I hope you overcome that and you don't still like blame yourself for that.
It took a long time, I can tell you that.
So as far as like your family and stuff, do you come from like a big family?
I got a big family.
Brothers, sisters.
I got at least about 7 more brothers and 2 sisters.
Dang,
so we got a big family.
You like the youngest or the oldest?
I'm a twin, so
you're twin.
My twin is like a minute older than me. So I'm really basically second to the last if you count that.
Yeah. Dang. Heck yeah. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Bryan. Yeah. Bryan, stayed out the way. People knew of me, but they really didn't know me.
For sure.
Personally.
And like I kind of can relate to like when you were talking about your dad and stuff. I just recently lost my dad last year, and kind of like the way where I was gonna go on next is work. That's actually where I met Josh. And how long have you been with Coke?
Basically 3 years.
3 years. So I met Josh like a few years ago, and the reason that we did get on this and get this like in action is because when I met him a couple years back, like he said, I felt like he was very similar to the way I was. When I met him, I kind of saw him, and he was like real quiet, but you could definitely tell he was a confident individual. And it kind of like reminded me of myself. Like when I first meet people, I don't really talk to them too much. I try to do what I have to do, and unless we need to directly, communicate, then it's not in a rude way or anything. It's just that we're just trying to keep going, keep moving.
Yeah, you got to read the room.
And so yeah, I met him, and then eventually we ended up, communicating more and more. And here recently, I shot the idea over to him, like, told him how I want to do a podcast. And like for a while, and he just pretty much told me, hey man, why don't you do it, man? What are you waiting for? And told me, he'd definitely be down to get on. And so that's why he's here today. Like himself, early on, I struggled with the same kind of things, man. Like being misunderstood, not, I guess, not having something to belong to,
Oh
when I was
yes.
younger. My dad, my actual biological dad, he left me around like 8 years old, somewhere around 8, 9 years old. And I really didn't know why. Try to like communicate with him when I got older, just to be the bigger man. Because, man, I remember, I tell people all the time, like, what I remember from him is me and my brother calling him and like pretty much begging him to interact with us. Like, hey, can you come
Damn.
pick us up? And bro, it was something simple like, man, can you take us to Long John Silver's, bro? Like, cause we're hungry, and
You were like, no?
well, he would be like, man, how come y'all can't eat at home? Or man, like we were just a burden to him. We were bugging,
Yo,
and really all we wanted was a relationship with our dad, and then yeah, to eat. But bro, I remember vividly, like waiting, and I always relate to the song with Eminem where he talks about window pane.
mm,
Pretty much, the window is a window pane, but he says, waiting in the window, and it was like painful waiting for someone that never came.
oh yeah.
My dad pretty much said, was like, man, yeah, okay. After bugging him so much, he's like, man, all right, I'll be there. And we tell him, what time, and he'd be like, I'll be there. For example, 7 o'clock, and 7 o'clock will roll around. He's not there. Give him a little bit. 7:10. All right. Call him again. Maybe, maybe not. He'd answer, and then after that, he'd eventually stop answering. We
Damn.
call him, and just wouldn't show.
That's
And
demoralizing as a kid, man.
so yeah, and then like a little bit later, like around when I got like 10 or 11 years old, my mom uh, met my stepdad, who I call my dad, because a lot of people like to call like step parents step. And when I was younger and knucklehead, yeah, I was a little bit. I pushed him away
Oh
and
man,
didn't want him because he wasn't my biological father, but
I know that.
early on, I was like, step, step is like, oh, you're gonna step all over them, walk all over
hmm
them. That's how I thought. But
Oh
man,
damn.
really, they're the ones that step up to the plate, bro. And
See, I never thought about it that way. I
mhm.
always thought, you know what I'm saying, like you said, it was like a replacement. So when my mom got married, I got pissed off. I was mad. I was like, yeah, you would have married my daddy
Mhm.
like that. So it really pissed me off. And yeah, I pushed him away so much, man. Like I caused that man hell. God
Oh,
rest
for
his
sure,
soul.
the
He
same
died.
thing,
He
man.
died last year.
Dang.
But I ended up warming up to him and understanding, hey, he was there.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
he wasn't a dad, but he helped me out a lot too.
Yeah,
So that's one thing I learned, and it made me feel bad because the way I did treat him growing up, I just disrespected him all the time. Like, nah, he ain't my dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about you. Like,
same way,
hey man,
man.
like going over there. Like I even tried to fight the man one time.
Yeah, I
it,
could
it was
relate.
it was embarrassing. It was funny though, but yeah, I felt bad. But when I did warm up to it, I felt like now, like damn, it was too late.
Yeah,
So that's one thing I do regret.
yeah. So like with my stepdad as well, it was the same thing, physical altercations. And I mean, I was a knucklehead, dude. Like, I left home probably like 12, 13 years old, went through like, I guess, the, the juvenile
The
system, in
bad
and
boy
out, and
stage.
doing all that stuff. And just, man, I made a lot of mistakes, but, you live and you learn. And you know, everything that he told me and it's crazy how that works out in life. Everything that he was telling me, I was like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. How do
Yeah.
what I'm going through? Y'all's life in that time was different.
Oh
And
man,
then
the anger
when I got older, I was like, damn, they were right, bro. Like, I should have listened. And by the time like I finally like, had kids and got older, I realized, man, how much he really did love me. And I was like, at that point, it was kind of like for us to build the kind of relationship that a father son have, it was already kind of like past that. I was already a man and
Excuse me.
really grown, and I loved him. But the most amazing thing for our relationship was my kids, man. The kind of like grandfather he was,
Oh yeah.
the popo that he was to my children, man. He loved them like unconditionally. He loved us all as well. He took in. I have three older sisters and a younger brother. He took us all in and loved us just like his own. Just
I know it had to be hard with the older sisters. Girls are just
oh
girls.
yeah, for sure.
Girls are stern, man.
Yeah, they're different,
They're
man.
like
Women are
they're
definitely
loyal to
different.
dad to the end. Depends on what kind of dad you are.
Yeah, they were different, man. But definitely like grateful because like I said, I did a lot in and out, making mistakes, and when I got old enough, I was like, man, he never ever like let me down. Like when I remember being in the courtroom and getting shipped off to San Marcos, going to boot camp, and I remember just sitting there and like here I am in the courtroom and they're getting ready to ship me off, and I'm like, the person that was right there was him standing. He was dressed up. He was always really well dressed. He was a car salesman,
Mm.
right there. Very prideful man. Smart. Um, and didn't take no crap from no one. So for him to take the crap he did from
Yeah,
us when we were young,
that's
that
love
tells you
right there,
something.
man.
Yeah.
It's gotta be love.
And he was there. I remember when I got older too. Anytime I needed anything, man. If I needed a ride somewhere, and I didn't have a way of transportation somewhere, if I called him, he'd drop what he was doing, go there. If I needed some money, yeah, come by here. I'm at the office. Drive by, help me out. So yeah, definitely. My dad, my biological father, is still alive, but I mean, we're way past that. He made his choices, and I don't have no hard feelings against him, but I just don't need him.
They say the adult in me forgives you, but the kid in me doesn't.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, hey, I got a love for
one.
you, yeah, and I forgive you, but man, how you hurt me growing up and all the stuff I had to endure without you, like that cannot be taken away.
Oh no, you can't. And I was just a kid, and I mean, I did try, man. I know that I tried, but man, I buried my dad last year, so that was my dad. So as far as that goes, that chapter is closed. All I can do now is just continue to raise my children, and just make
Do
him
they know?
proud.
Do they know your dad? Like, have they ever met him?
Well, we kind of like my stepdad raised them, but a couple years back, like 5 years or something back, I have a little sister from him, and she reached out to us, and they FaceTime a little bit with him, but man, he's still the same person,
Oh
honestly.
damn.
Like I never talked bad to my little brother and my little sister from him.
Hmm.
I never once told them anything bad about him, and I never told them all the past because I said, you know what, if he's a good dad to them, I don't want to ruin anything.
Right.
like
Yeah.
that.
You don't want to put him in that light, that image.
But just he lives in Mexico. He's in Mexico, so
Man, he way out there.
yeah. So he really don't care. He never throughout any of those years from the time I last saw him, like I think I was 21, and it's going on 17 years ago. Never tried to reach out to me once.
Damn.
And then even during from the time he left to the end, bro, he never tried to reach out to me. The things that he would call us for me and my brother when he did call us. Hey, tell your mom to take me out child support. Hey,
Oh man.
look, tell them to tell the court to lower the child support because it's too much. And I remember the checks, bro. It was like 300 and something a month or two something a month, and he was like, lower it.
Shit, he got it easy.
But then they didn't want to have no relationship with us. So those are the things. Those are the core memories that I have. But anyways, your kids, man. How old are your kids?
Yeah, my kids are 8 and 9.
8 and 9?
8-year-old, she's gonna be 9 in June. Her birthday is 2 days after mine. And my 5-year-old is gonna be 6 in November. So yeah, it's a little gap.
Yeah, nice little gap. That's how my kids. So my son, he'll be 16 this summer, and then my daughter, she just turned 9. a few weeks ago. So they've got
That's
about
when you
6
start
years
seeing the
something. Got.
personality in them come in.
Oh yeah, no, my son, like teenager, he's a little bit different. Well, I guess a lot different because, like I said, by that time I was already out of the house and in the streets and did a lot. But he's a good kid, man, real good kid. He does give the little eye roll or the smacking the lips here and there,
The
and I have to put him,
testosterone coming in.
I have to put him in his place.
Yo,
Or,
hey, he got to see, he got to try the alpha.
the girl is the one that's a different one, bro, because. Definitely daddy's girl, and just girls are just so different, man. You know.
And I wanted boys. I did. Man, when I found out my first one was a girl, I was irritated. I was pissed off. We was in there and like she just scanned it. She's like, "Oh, that's the girl." I'm like, what? I said, "That's it." Like, I said, "You took like 5 seconds."
Dang.
And she's like, "It's the girl." And I looked at her. And I looked at her. I walked out, man.
Oh man.
And I slept on the couch for a month, man. I cut everybody.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, I cut the family out.
What was it about having a girl? Was it just the fact that you're gonna have to deal with boys, or
it was that, and then the way we grew up, you know what I'm saying? How we talk to these girls, and how we used to give them to do it once. I mean, I want that for my babies. So I got pissed. I was like, oh man.
My wife always tells me that.
I was stressed.
She's like, you used to like talk about having girlfriends and then doing this and that, being able to, have all these little relationships when you were younger and thought you were cute. Just wait. She's like, just wait, and I want you to keep that same energy.
See, that's the stuff I don't like.
Exactly.
That's what keeps me going in the gym. Like when I be tired, I be thinking, like, man, I might have to whoop some little boy ass when I get older.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be the dad.
We got to keep him at bay, man. Got to keep the young guns at bay.
Get my daddy on you, and then all of a sudden, daddy get whooped. What kind of example?
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's like on like the Bad Boys movie.
Yeah.
Except for what's his name? What was the guy's name that he did on the newest one? He came back and he was like a beast. But I remember the first episode they were able to like scare him, or the first movie, and then the last one they were like, "Dang, that was a killer."
It was
Spoiler alert!
Man, think twice.
Yeah. What about like sports and stuff in school? Like, you play any sports?
Sports in school, man. I wanted to so bad, but I was so into the gangster rap.
Yeah,
I just called myself a super blood back in the day.
Dang.
I used to all red. Used to get the all red Dickie suits. Go to school and you have a little flag hanging out on the right side.
It's crazy, man.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't give a damn what the teacher said. I was getting in fights and stuff like that. And like when I tried to play, man, it was just too much ass kissing for me.
Yeah.
Like it's like this. Man, the coaches had their favorites already.
Exactly. That's what I was
going to say. So it was like, man, like I could be way better than this guy. Yes, coach. Yes, sir, coach. I will, coach. They like had that shit.
We had a lot of pride, huh? You're like, man, I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't about to son me, but man, they used to kiss ass a little bit. And I used to be like, nah. It was funny because when I did try for basketball, they wanted me to run cross country. I said, hey, man, that ain't a cross country runner. Yeah. I came here to play basketball. They used to get up about 5 o'clock in the morning, run all around school and stuff like that. Coach used to follow them in the car, just watching them run, even if it was cold. I said, man, the hell no. So I had like 1,000 suicides I had to do. I told him I ain't doing it. So I got kicked out of basketball. I was training with football players in the off season. And like we was just doing training and then we did like a 400. Man, I burnt them so bad. I was like, number one.
Damn.
And then the coach was like, he should join the track team. I'm thinking about, I'm getting some recognition, okay.
Yeah, and like you said, man, growing up, like you want to be a part of something and you want to be like, recognized, and it's a good feeling,
But then when I was, my coach was like, oh, if you want to join the track team, he would have did it our way.
Damn.
That's when the ignorant side came out. I said, you know what? I said, you damn sure right. I said, nah, I ain't joining. I said, fuck y'all.
It's that pride, man.
Let y'all lose.
And that's how I was kind of in school, man. Like, I mean, I would say that I got caught up in the wrong crowd, but at the time, when you do like get involved with gangs and all those people that they would call like thugs and stuff, man, like the biggest part I feel like a lot of us like take that route is because you want to be a part of something, man.
Yeah.
And when you get around those groups, you feel like you got like a brotherhood, or you feel like
cool
wanted,
thing to do.
and yeah, you're part of something, man. And I remember playing football, in middle school. Like I said, I didn't have a father figure, to show me, what the hell routes were. And in school, and they weren't trying to show us how to run routes and show us like in
Nah,
depth of
man,
each
we
position.
just
So
running,
yeah,
doing
so
suits.
like you said, they had their favorites already, and they knew because their dads had already did sports, and they had like a history with them. So when they came to me, I remember playing like corner, receiver. I really wanted to be a running back, but man, eventually, like I didn't have the patience and discipline, and I felt like they didn't really want to take the time to work with me. So I mean, I was just like, I'm done. I remember my mom buying the shoes, the cleats, and stuff, and showing up to practice and trying, man, and wanting to be good at it. But then the same way you were, I was like, man, you know what? Screw this. They really don't like me. They don't want me here. So
Exactly.
I ended up.
That funny part about it is like my family was known for like football and all this. It was like, oh yeah, we got another one of them. Ah, you don't got another
Shit,
one of them because
athlete.
hey, I ain't taking no shit.
Yep, that's similar, and like I'm grateful like for all like the drama and stuff that I went through. Like it shot me to boot camp. I went over there. I had been to this one a couple times, the local one, but when I got shipped out to San Antonio, man, that definitely was
How long were
like
you out there?
it was like I think I got shipped out since to like 3 months over there. I spent like 2 months here waiting to get shipped out,
Yeah.
and then I did like probably like two and a half months over there, and it was definitely an eye opener and life changing for
Was
me
it bad?
because
Was it bad to a point where like when you was down here, it's like, oh, okay, it's cool, I can handle this. But when you went out there, it was a whole different world.
I feel like man, my skin was pretty tough from like I guess everything that I had been through in life, man, and definitely I think I got shipped out over there, man. I was only a kid. I was like 12 years old, 13 years
Phew.
old. Yeah, so being that far away from home, uh, I had got I don't know. I just felt like, man, I didn't want the mindset, man, the mentality that I had always with me was, man, don't show weakness. And if other people can get through this, then I can get through this. So when I went over there, man, I had already went to this boot camp, so I knew like some of like the commands. Like I don't know if you ever like when you see the old school military, you have to stand at attention. You're
Oh
looking
yeah,
forward. You can't look away. So I knew all those kind of things. I knew how they were gonna like
that.
get on me and drill me. So man, I remember them showing up, man. Um, they came in like what they call them is like Smokies, the hats.
They call
They
it
came
smoking.
straight in black, bro. They were all dressed in black. I still remember the names. It was De Luna and no, it was Contreras and yeah, De Luna. So they showed up, man, and they come in the door, and I'm at the juvenile, and I'm waiting there, and I'm standing at attention. I'm looking forward, and they don't say anything. It was all an intimidation game, man, but. They look at me, size me up, and they acted cool right there in the building. But once they took me in the van, they told me, "Hey, ride with your neck, your chin, and your chest the
And
whole time,
what?
bro." Like not looking, and like I
What?
said, I'm 12, 13 years old, and I'm trying not to cause trouble and trying for them not to drill the hell out of me, man. I want to be like cooperative.
Why they wanted you
So
to do that though?
man, it's a mind game too. They didn't almost like they don't want you to see the location that they're going to and pay attention to all this stuff. And then they say that it's for their safety as well, so you're not trying to look for like escapes. And I'm guessing. So man, I remember getting off at a store. Or I didn't get off, but we stopped at a store, and they were like, man, and I like, man, it's all mind games, so you gotta be careful with how you answer. But we pulled in the store, and they're like, you want anything? And I was like, sir, no, sir. And they're like, okay. But even that, if what I learned, and you can't even say if they ask you a question, you can't say it's sir, no, sir. You need to ask permission to speak, sir. Private, whatever, request permission to speak, sir. Then they like speak, and then you say, sir, no, sir. Like it's a lot, man, and being the hard asses that we were growing up, you're like, I'm not doing that crap, man. I'm not gonna do that. You got me screwed up. I'm not doing that. but all you do is the more you don't cooperate, man, they're gonna extend your time.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can go from having 3 months to 5 months to 6 months to a year. They can keep you as long as they want, and
What?
yeah,
I got there. They let them do that.
yeah, they had people in there all the way to like 18, 19, and if they failed that program, they're gonna be shipped to prison, bro. Like after that, you go to prison. So man, I was like, man, I'm not gonna make it hard on myself because like I've been to boot camps and I know that they're gonna exercise the hell out of me, man. Like I'm talking about till you can't move, till you can't run. You know, they're gonna drag the hell out of you.
So you telling me like I'm 18 there, right?
Mhm.
I failed a 3-month program. They be like, all right, they ask me these questions. You know what? Stamp, he going to send his ass to prison.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no.
it depends. It's like a process. Like they'll send you to the court, and you know the DA and everything gonna be like, "Hey, we put him in this program. He failed it. Judge, we had no other options." You know, like because technically the boot camp is a county jail, and the grown men like that are in the jail for Hayes County are right there. You see them as you're walking through. We're just in a different section. Yeah, and
I know it's like that. I thought it was like something.
I remember showing up to the jail finally, and one of the drill instructors was behind the fence, and I get off, and they're like, all right, and then they tell me to get off, and I'm standing there. There's a big old dude standing there, and he's like, hey, he had a real raspy voice, get over here, you know. So I was like, all right, so I hustle over to him, and I'm like, sir, yes, sir. The two guys that I came with, they're like, where the fuck you think you going? Get your ass back over here. So I run back over there, and then he was like, hey, you better not go back over there. You better not go back. And they're playing games the whole time. So I run towards them, and he's like, get your ass back over here, you know, get over here. And I'm like, man. And then these two, one of them, Contreras, had like a real raspy voice, like, hey, get your ass from screaming the whole time. He's like, get over here right now. And they told me, how the hell do you think you're gonna come over here with us and you're gonna listen to him? And I'm like, man, they're right. So I stayed there. And he's like, good. And he's behind a chain link fence. He's like, good, I got your ass. Your ass is mine once you get over here. And I'm like, man. So they take me in there, man. And yeah, they like they had a lot of mind games. There was a whole bunch of mental games going on. But yeah, they shaved our head, bro, on our knees. They tell us get on your knees, shave your head, skin bald. And it was torture.
Institutionalized.
Yeah, you get up at 4 a.m. over there the next morning. Everything you do, if you're sitting in the doorway, and I asked one of the sergeants already, hey, can I go to the restroom? And he says, yeah. If I run by you, I have to stop. Say, sir, John Zavala, or sir, Private John Zavala requests permission to speak, sir. And then you'll say, speak. And then I'll say, by your leave, sir, which means like, can I go? And he's like, yeah, just go. And then every time you pass any drill instructor, you have to, you know, ask permission to speak and go. Like every single thing throughout the whole thing. But all they did was just teach me discipline.
Even the moments where you couldn't make it.
Yeah, and there was a lot. I remember the first day, bro. They like what they want you to do your first day is you go through a PT test. They have you do pull-ups, push-ups, everything. And I remember I ranked so high because man, when I was in jail here, I was doing like man, pretty much like almost 1,000 push-ups a day.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting up to like 900 and something a day, and it was like sets of 50. Then as soon as I couldn't do the 50, 25s, then it would be like sets of 10. But by the end of the day, I was doing like, you know, 900 and something like a day. And people would think it's impossible, but man, when you've been doing it so much.
My brother got out of prison. That's when he started. That's when he showed us some kind of workouts, push-ups and all those sit-ups and all that stuff. So like, man, like couldn't afford no gym, so go outside, get you a tree limb, do you some pull-ups, get you a chair, do some incline,
just body weight, and that's what helped me build like you know the foundation for like my strength now is because doing what you can with what you have, and
I tell the dudes who want to bench a lot, I say, "Doc, push-ups are important
for sure,
but
pull-ups too,
challenging."
Yeah, it is definitely, man. but that's how, doing challenging things, man. That's where growth comes from. I remember like scoring high, and there was a guy, I think Garza. He was like the private first class, so he was like top ranked. And they were like, they got on him. They're like, hey, this freaking new guy is right there on your butt. How you gonna let him come over here?
Uh-oh.
And I was like, man, I don't want no drama, man. I'm just trying to like lay low key and just get through this program, man. But here they are
It was.
starting stuff between us. So I don't want them to put me that high either, because if they put me high like that, then it means that they're gonna require that all the time. The same,
Ooh.
So man, I remember laying in bed the first night. Man, we go to bed like at 8 o'clock, ate our
Damn, 8?
chow, and we get 10 minutes to eat, man.
10
10 minutes.
minutes.
As soon as they give you your plate, they're like, "All right, you got start." We say our grace, and you got 10 minutes to
Was it at
finish
least
your
some
plate.
good food?
Nah, man, it was trash, man. But um, man, technically, like you learn like strategies with your food, like um, the carbs that you need. Like you need the biscuits, you need the little cornbread, the Gatorade. All that stuff's gonna help. I remember I didn't like salads. They made me eat salad and ranch, bro, and I threw it up.
Dang.
Yeah, they made me, and I threw that crap up. And they give you a hard time when you first start. But the first night, I remember laying there, bro. The lights are like kind of like shut out, like lights out. Everybody's in their bunks laying down, and I remember laying there, and I was just like on my back, and I said, "Damn, man, what did you do, man? Like you done messed up big time now. You can't even. I can't even go to the restroom in the middle of the night to go to the restroom. I
Damn.
can't even like go outside
So you
and look
gotta
at the
hold it till
sky.
like the next day?
Oh, I mean, you could, but you're gonna have to get up, ask permission to
Oh,
go
yeah.
this, and do all that. And I remember the next morning they woke us up, and I'll finish off here. They woke us up, and they're like screaming, dude. Like, um, the guys were already programmed. Like, man, we're in a bunk. There's like, it's like a whole top, the bunks like the bed on top and the one on the bottom, and they're all like probably like I think like
So like on life out there, the beds all just like scribbled out
yeah.
right there.
So they go this way like in the L, and there was probably like 10 of them that way, another 10 this way. So we're in a room full of like 20 something guys.
Oh no.
In our area. There's another one on the other side. That's where the higher ranked guys were. Well, man, in the morning, some of the guys you eventually get programmed to wake up before the drill instructors come. It's like the tables are aluminum, and they come in like banging the tables, dude, and like loud, like sounds like pots
Ooh.
and pans just getting banged in there. But eventually, you wake up before because you're not trying to get startled.
Yeah.
So I remember waking up, and then they're screaming. They tell us you have to run, stand up with your arms straight, and look at the front of your rack, and everybody stands still. You can't eyeball them. You have to look forward. And then they had to teach us how to like fold our beds. Your beds have to be like folded a certain amount of inches. The corners have to be like a certain angle.
Oh,
And you
no,
learn it, man.
What?
It's crazy, but you learn it and you end up mastering it. But man, I remember like if you did it and you didn't execute it properly, as soon as you got done, they give you 10 minutes for that too, and they're like, "All right, time's up." So when they get done, the Contreras used to know how to count down fast. He was a Marine, and he'd be like, "All right." He'll start at like a minute. He'd be like 60, 59, 58, all the way that like one of those people at auction, and they'd be 10, 65, do not move, freeze. And you're at the front of your rack, and then they go to inspect. They get them smokies on. They're walking just boom,
They
boom,
put a
boom,
little
like full
level
metal
on
jacket.
you.
Man, if you're bunk, when they're inspecting it, you spend all that time, if they feel like there's a little wrinkle in there or something, they'll grab your bunk. They call it tossing your rat. Grab it, chunk your, and it's like one of them thin patterns like at the hospital. They'll chunk your bunk and wreck all your stuff. Do it again. Yeah.
So you got another 10 minutes to do it?
Yeah, he has another 10
So
minutes
like,
to do it.
so if you didn't get it right first couple times, like you just gotta keep doing it until you get it right.
And then they'll eventually like they'll say, you know what, you just suck.
No.
So they're like, you're gonna work on that, but we're gonna when we go out there and we run you, we're doing PT. I'm gonna run the hell out of you. They're gonna punish you somehow. Like if you didn't get that right, they might tell you, hey, it used to be, I think it used to be 40 push-ups every time. So they say, all right, drop. You're gonna give me 40, and if you can't do 40, you try your best, and you just try your best, and that's how they crank out. I guess the endurance. Eventually, you get used to it. You do. Let's say you can't do push-ups, and you do 15. All right, we're gonna get those 40 out of you. Get on your knees. They're gonna yell at you for your knees. Give me 5 more. It may be crappy.
God,
Eventually, you build up and you get stronger. But yeah, so that definitely paved the way for.
how did you adjust when you got out? Like, man, like, was it hard to get back, shake back to real life?
I remember being at like my best friend like growing up. I always called him like we called each other brothers. He's a little older than me. I remember spending the night at his house, dude. After I got out, his mom was like, "What the hell?" Because in the middle of the night, one night I was like, "Sorry, sorry, sir." And like he woke up and he was like, "What the hell?" And he said his mom came in there and like, "What happened?" And I kind of had already woke up and I said, "Man, I'm sorry." But it was definitely different, man. I remember still having my head real short hair, like real bald fade.
It's a nightmare.
I had like higher standards for what I would accept, like from people, man, and because I was like, if I was able to go through all that, and I seen how demanding things were, and how quality, how you need to demand quality in life and relationships. So with people, I was like, man, y'all are just weak because you're choosing to be weak, man. Y'all making excuses. So it definitely taught me a lot. My mom, she could tell you that I would fold my bed still the same way, and my clothes I would still fold the same way. And I mean, it definitely like paved the way for a lot like standards for me in life, and then also like understanding that there's nothing in life that we can't accomplish and do.
I always tell people, no matter how negative the situation is or how negative something is, there's always something positive that you can take out of it.
Yeah.
To smile a little bit.
I like the saying that people are like, man, you took a loss, and I'm like, man, technically it's not a loss if you learn something from the situation. How'd you get into like fitness and stuff? Like, what made you?
Fitness, man. I say, okay, so when I grew up, I was a fat kid.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a kid, take the shirt off, got the belly, built like Yogi Bear or something.
Yeah.
But I was just like, hey, all the girls like to do cool, skinny kids and all that. I was just be kind of look fat, chunky guy. So I'm like, it ain't for me. Then as growing up, anime really got me into working out.
Anime.
Like Goku. Goku, that is
for sure
one of my biggest motivations to do anything.
As far as physique, right?
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but in life, there's a lot of lessons,
And I tell people all the time, man, anime, they just look at it like cartoon, but like, if you really pay attention to it, it got good stories to it, good morals to it, but people can't get past the cartoon stage. Yeah. So like with Goku, what I always did was I took motivation from him, how he always didn't give up, how he always, wanted to achieve more to get where you want to get to. Yeah. I'm like, hey, let me take that. It's a thing called Gokuism. If you look it up, it's Gokuism. It has a whole definition of it. So that's where I found my inspiration for really working out. I worked out with people and, did what I needed to do, but I really got motivated with just watching that because it's something I liked and then something I took from it. So, I'd be in the gym sometime. I'm like, damn, I'm tired.
Help you dig deep. Huh?
Yeah, like what would Goku do? So it's like, all right, you get extra boosts, extra jolt, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go.
And he'd hop in that chamber and recover too.
I wish I had a chamber. I'd be feeling, man. I'd be mowed down.
When did you like what age? About how long ago did you join the gym, and then what gym?
Man, I officially joined the gym. I would say when I was about 19 years old. I was at it's TrueFit now, but it's AeroFit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there about 140, skinny as hell. I didn't know how to work out. I just worked out. I was just used to doing the stuff that my brother showed me when he got out of prison, calisthenics and all that. I didn't know anything about, certain weights or what you need to do to improve to get to where you need to go. So, like we call it blind working out. You're just in there working out. you ain't working out
jumping station to station.
Yeah,
Kinda
you're not doing anything specific to get to where you need to get. But you say you're doing some I'm in there taking pictures and stuff, thinking I'm just got me a little pump in, like I'm doing something, and I wasn't really doing shit.
you still. I guess you are doing something because you're doing something that you weren't doing before. But
But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I say one of the bad parts about it was, I wanted to do it because, because my dad died because of health problems, cancer and all that. So it's like I don't want to do the same thing. So it's like, it's really me trying to really take care of my body until, you're not gonna prevent everything, but you give yourself a better fighting chance of doing it. So that's another reason why I do it. Then it's like, a little vanity too. Hey, I want to look good, I want to feel good. So it's kind of that too. But the main objective was the longevity of life.
For sure. And, at least trying to, do what you can, because that's all you can. At least you're putting some kind of effort and like same my dad passed from cancer and struggled with diabetes and stuff and I remember telling them, but man, the old school's a little different, man. They have like this, and I know in the Mexican culture, they got tortillas and like all this stuff, like a lot of the tamales, all this stuff that's heavy on like lard and carbs and the trend with them is, man, I don't know if that's how your elders were, but ours are like, man, we're gonna die someday anyways.
Yeah, they always say that. Oh, you can do this and die. You can do that and die.
They're like, it's a waste of time. Like they think that it's more about the glamour thing, and I'm like, it's not, man. It's about like what's inside. But so like similar to you, how when you joined, I think I joined in like 2015.
That's what I joined.
I had like the I think I told you last time, like the gym phobia, and like I never joined the gym because like, man, I struggled being skinny. Then I got through like when I had my son and stuff. I remember getting like real chubby, hanging out with my friends, drinking beer, and got pretty big. But I knew how to work out. I always knew how not
you
weights,
never forget that.
but I knew how to push myself and train. And I was doing like P90X for years, man. Because why? I could do it in the comfort of my own home, and it's similar to like calisthenics. And so I remember I went to go train with Hector, and we got in the gym, and I remember hitting some weight with him, and I was like, man, I got burned out fast as far as touching heavier weights. 'Cause I could only touch like the dumbbells I had. I think the heaviest ones I had were 30s. But going and trying to run through a gym session was way different, and I got burned out fast. But that just motivated me to get back in there, and like when I finally ended up saying, man, screw it, I wanted to go in the gym with, I guess, a decent physique, not like shredded, not, in shape, but something that I wasn't embarrassed about because I had the love handles and I was chubby. And, man, I remember going in there like first time on myself, walking in there and being a little intimidated because they have their groups. There's people with their groups, and there's people who know what they're doing. Even though a lot of them, technically, we think they know what they're doing, but they don't. They're just like us.
You learn that quick.
So hopped around, and I remember people looking at me, and I'm sitting here like we didn't have like. Back then, honestly, we didn't have like it wasn't as easy just to look up fitness like training like that. It's gotten way easier, but you could Google at least the exercise, and I was like, how to do chest or what can I do, and just jumped around and the way like I started Strength Familia, bro. I told you before, but. And I just remember going in there time and time and getting more confident each time. But I said, man, how can I help other people, that are coming in here that may be in, uh, different, no matter what they're struggling with in life or why they wanted to go to the gym, to help them like make it easier to come in here and train. And at that time, I said, man, I've always liked t-shirts, man. I always liked t-shirts, and I believe like look good, feel good, and then lift good.
That is a big fashion statement right there.
So I was like, man, what can I get, man, to help people, And I said, man, I'm gonna make a T-shirt, and if I make the T-shirt and I like it and I wear it, I feel good coming in here. And then if people like it and they wear it, it'll make it easier to come in here having a new swag, and that's kind of what it's like when you get a cut, you got that fresh
Oh man,
face,
shoot! I
that
ain't tell you
high,
nothing. You're gonna be seen by the world.
So the same thing with the T-shirt, and made a T-shirt, man. The first design we made, it said "No excuses" on it, and then it had like the skull on the back with the logo, and we started that, and man, people just it caught like fire, and a lot of people started supporting, and man, so many people were like, man, no excuses, because for me, that's like that was my mindset, man. Don't make excuses. Don't let that stop you from what you're trying to achieve. And man, eventually, man, like Strength Familia, what it represents for me is being a part of something, man. Never feeling like you're alone, man. And that's just I remember some people thought it was like a Mexican thing because familia, but I'm like, bro, it means family, and it pretty much like the logo, what it represents is the barbell represents strength, man, and then the skull is I believe that we never die. So the skull represents forever, at least in this life, and that forever strong, man, forever strength, and I joined like I said, like 2015, like you, and then never stopped. Yeah. Um, what is your training style like? Like, what would you like um categorize the type of training that you do? Like more physique or
It's more physique.
yeah.
I used to go for the big heavy set,
Be trying to
or
be real
yeah,
big or
big. Like really, I want to be because it's funny because my twin calls me Johnny Bravo.
Mhm.
She's always called me Johnny
Man, a
Bravo.
lot of people don't know about Johnny Bravo.
She called me Johnny Bravo because the way my body is, I got a long torso and short legs, so she would call me like a dash hound or a wiener dog. But then she was like, boom, look at Johnny Bravo, you all big.
Johnny.
And look how little Johnny legs. I was like, oh, it's genetics. Black folks, though, legs do not get big unless you're kind of huge. Okay. I mean, you look at LeBron James' legs and Derrick Henry legs, they small as hell. Like I got my legs are probably bigger than theirs. So let's clear that. Let's kill that. Because I work on my legs. So
I remember Johnny Bravo though, man. That's nice.
So when I do it, I'm mainly volume based. So I be going to the gym, boys. What you doing? Okay, so I'm like, I'm doing 10 sets of 10 on the bench. What you mean? Like 10 sets of 10, target 100. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. All the way. Man, that's a lot of reps. I say, but that's how you get strong. I said, that's how you get definition. I said, it's muscle exploding.
Hypertrophy. Yeah.
And so it's like, you got to pump while you're doing it, but you're forcing your muscles to expand to get bigger. I said, I can sit here and lift maybe 275 all damn day. I'm not really going to get anywhere. I can just lift it. But, as you say, we want physique. You have to do stuff to get to physique. You got to kind of trim everything down. Like they say, Rome isn't built in a day. Working out is, I'm saying, a marathon, not a sprint. People always want the results right then and there. They don't want to work for it. Nobody ever want to work for the results. They always
want the easy way, man.
And I always tell people, like, you may see some results the first month because, you're shocking your muscles because
it's like that newbie game. So
yeah. I said after that, you're gonna plateau here like hard. I said, but you're not gonna see the real results till like maybe 5 to 6 months. Like changing results.
You also like I think that all the time with like as long as like I've been in the gym, you have to always find like something to keep you like engaged and you have to keep like setting new goals for yourself to keep you I guess motivated, man. Even though like they have that saying that motivation is crap because motivation comes and goes. They say you have to be driven. But I think as long as you like set like little milestones or something or like a small short-term goal, that's how you stay like locked in all the time and never get
I always tell somebody, I say, okay, so what do you want? Like, how do you want to look? They're like, oh, I want such and such, such. I say, so how are you going to get there? Go working out. And not just working out. I said, you got to find out what's working to get there. Instead of just going there and working out. Like I tell people, are you pushing the weight or are you moving the weight? A lot of people don't get that. I can go in there and put some heavy weight on me and just move it out the way and say, oh, yeah, I can do it. But I really can't do it. I'm not activating the muscles that I need to
Yeah,
activate
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
to actually do the weight. And I always tell them, like, dog, if you can't do the weight consistently, at least like 6 to 8 reps, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get 3, but can you really do it on a consistent level? After you do those 3, you try to do 3 more, you're gonna be burnt out.
That's what I like to say. I think like bodybuilders, they believe in like constant tension.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't touch your chest.
That's what I see. That's how I do it. I believe in constant
tension. You're keeping tension,
Mhm.
and like I believe in that too. But with the way we competition standards for us, we have to pause on the chest. So there's different training, I guess methods and strategies. But I know what you're saying as far as the pushing, because I always tell my kids and anybody who asks for advice, I'm like, I feel like control is everything. If you can't control the weight, then it's I guess useless in a way, depending on what you're gonna do with it. Like there is times that you need explosiveness if you do certain sports. Like they always give basketball players and athletes crap for not squatting to depth. But I'm like, man, you have to understand. I explained to someone the other day about that when they're shooting a jump shot, man, do you see a basketball player squat parallel to take a jump shot? No, they have like a slight, like they bend their knees slightly and then they shoot. So then why when they do a squat, why would they need to break parallel or hit parallel? That's why you see LeBron and them kind of squatting high, because it's translating over to the jump shot.
And depth is hard as hell. Depth is not easy. I mean, you see people in there like going damn near ass to the ground, and man, you gotta think about the strength that they got, because you can't just get away and go all the way down there and think you're gonna come back up.
For sure. And I remember when we first started training, like you see a lot of people ego lifting in there. And I remember Hector was telling me about this one guy that he hit this weight, and we were like, yeah, but he didn't hit depth. And Hector's like, yeah, I think you would have been able to do it if you hit depth. And then after watching it a few times, Hector said, you know what, you're right. He wouldn't have been able to do that. I was like, because from the point, if your parallels here and you stop here, it's a whole different ball game. If you break that a little bit, the muscle groups that you need in your hips and different things, you have to train like that.
That's gone. It's like you gotta use willpower to get it up and down. Like you either gonna get it up or you're gonna be embarrassed. You know what they say? My boy Pat told me, it's like, what you gonna do when you can't get the weight off you? You want everybody to see you struggling this and this and that. Like man, I gotta get this shit off.
Yeah, for sure, man. That you live and you learn, man. Because man, I remember felling weight. Now that I've been doing it, I've been powerlifting since end of 27. I learned, man. Like I failed weight, like man, I failed probably like in powerlifting at least, man, 10 to 15 squats. I failed them. I had to like dump them and I put them on the safeties, and it's so frustrating. That's probably the most frustrating one to fail for, because you gotta take all the plates off, put the bar back up there, load it back up. I failed some benches. Deadlift is easier to fail, but man, I've never been like, as I got further along in the powerlifting journey, I never felt like I was afraid to fail because I didn't do anything stupidly. If I don't have no business taking that, then I shouldn't be taking that. But um, I also don't put it in my head that there's a possibility to fail. I know there is, but I feel like if you already start telling yourself, and doubting yourself, you're putting that in your head. You just want to say, hey, man, in my head, I visualize the execution,
As I try to tell the young guys, he's like, oh, man, I don't think I'll be able to do that. I say, see, you already lost the battle. I say, you got to go into everything thinking you can do it, but find within reason that you think you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me pump your head up. Yo, hey, if you feel like you can get it. I'm here to help you, but I'll make you feel it.
I think that was Boss Baby, but I think Henry Ford's the one that said that whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It is true, man. So with training, man, what are do you have like any health issues or anything like that?
Health issues, I got plenty of those. This list goes on. I am bipolar. I have anxiety. I deal with depression. I got scoliosis. I had arthritis in my knee one time because I had tore it playing basketball. But so I deal with a lot of stuff when it comes to working out and like doing everything. and like my mind goes like 100 miles an hour. So
So
it's like finding balance in between all that.
so with that, like how does scoliosis like affect you and like that's pretty much like your spine is like
Mm-hmm.
curved, right?
All
Something
right,
like that close.
scoliosis makes it bad because my spine looks like this, and then go down and it gets twisted again. So my left side is higher than my right side, and
I can't
then
even tell though when I see you. Like I never notice it.
okay, but if you notice, if I sit down, I lean this way.
Uh,
It's a natural lean, and I've always leaned that way. So like this side is higher than this side. So when you're doing workouts and training your legs, you got to kind of isolate them, because if you don't isolate them, then this leg is going to handicap the other leg.
oh, okay.
And then like on the bench, it's the same thing. If I'm benching, like I gotta have my back flat on there. Like if my back is hanging or anything like that, it's gonna be bad, because when I'm on there, when I pick it up, I'm turned this way automatically because my belly automatically naturally goes this way. So I have to hold myself straight and try to keep myself straight and bring the weight down and push it back up.
But that's what that constant tension is good for, man. And the time under tension, because with that, if you're forcing yourself to stay like on the correct position, the more you can build up like all that the muscle groups
It's
and
just
stuff.
like I've had to adjust to it plenty of times. I've been thinking, like when I was on there, one part was always hitting the rack and the other part was just straight. So I had to kind of learn how to, like, I had to take the weights off and then get the proper form, because
With
I was
barbell,
just,
right?
yeah, because I was just going up there doing it. I could do the weight, but my form was trash. And like on incline, when I'm doing incline, when I'm right there, it's automatically dip like that. So you got to kind of hold it like that too. You can't do all that heavy weight like that, because when you do, it's pressing down, it's compressing your spine.
Yeah.
And each time you like put some heavy weight on it, you feel it in the bottom of your spine. It hurts like hell. And you don't want nothing to pop, and it's easy to get a back injury, because I've had plenty of those.
Yeah.
Pull my sciatic nerve, deadlifting.
Dealt with that. The sciatic nerve is a pain in the ass, like literally. Huh? Yeah, but man, that's good that you talked about like just going straight to the barbell and not having to wait, because man, what I like to instill is man, I guess you're nothing without form and technique.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to start from there. If your form or technique is trash, you have no business going up in weight, man. You need to stay there.
Yeah.
Put that pride to the side, because everybody's always worried about impressing the people around, man. Screw that. Because the one that's gonna suffer is you physically when you hurt.
I've had plenty of homeboys. I like, hey, let's go to the gym. I bet they'll see me doing the weight, and I try to tell, what you doing? Like, take it off, man. Like, I tell them straight up, you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can do it. You're a grown man. I'm gonna let you do what you want to do. I see them struggling, and then after that, I don't see them the rest of the time. They might show up maybe once. Other than that, lose contact. They'll hit me up. Hey, you ready to go to the gym? They'll do any of that. So, and I tell them, like, you did it to yourself. And they always say, man, he work out hard. He gonna make you do stuff that you want to do. I said, no. I said, you do stuff that you think you can do.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not gonna tell a grown person what they can and can't do. If you want to try it, go ahead and knock yourself out. I said, but you're gonna find out the hard way. I'm trying to, build you up to that point where you can do it without hurting yourself or looking stupid.
Yeah, I love to train and teach people, man. But a lot of people are I guess intimidated. They'll see me move weight and they're like, man, hell no, I'm not coming to work out with you, because they say they want to, but then they're like, man, I'm not gonna do the way you're doing. I'm like, I mean, obviously you're not, and nor would I ever ask you to, because man, we're all at different levels. We all start from somewhere. So if I'm doing a squat and I have my rep scheme and my weight, I'm not gonna. There's no way in hell I'm gonna ask you to do that way. I'm gonna tell you, hey, we're gonna watch when we're warming up. If you're gonna do the bar, even if you have to do the bar for the same rep scheme, that's what I consider working in with me as far as like barbell exercises go. But then when we move on to like accessories and stuff, a lot of people do better, and that's when we can actually have some real fun. That's like, I guess, without as much pressure.
Yeah.
We all work at our own pace. You can only do as much as you can, man.
Man, but the thing about, working out with like, buddies and dudes like that, it's always the ego thing. Like, like I'm not gonna have you outshow me, or, this group of girls might be looking at us all with, what I'm saying? I like her. I can do the same thing too. And I'm like, I tell people all the time, man, you're in here for you. You don't give a damn what other people think about you. Like, you're doing this to satisfy you. If you're doing this to get the recognition from anybody else, or be like, oh, well, that's the hot chick, that's all that dude look good, something like that, then you're in there for the wrong reasons, because you're not really in there to, grasp what really working out is, being healthy, mentally, physically.
Mm-hmm.
You're not grasping that. You just want the vanity of it. You just want to look good. And that's why you don't get the results that you want to get. And you want them so fast because you're not in here for the right reasons. Like nowadays, working out is a trend.
Yeah.
You either going there looking good and recording yourself half the time, and most of the time you're doing it wrong, or you're just taking up a machine, just for clout,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not really doing what you need to do. And that's really mainly what it is now. Oh, why work out? That means they think, oh, he works out. She does that. He does that. They know this, and that. But then when you talk to those people who be in all those professional little gears and stuff like that, they don't know half the shit they talking about.
Yeah, they don't. But man, that's why I really like that saying. And people think they take it. I mean, people are always gonna do what's like use something as an excuse to I guess justify their excuses or to suit what they're doing. But I like the you versus you. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love that because I mean you can only do what you can do, and the person that's gonna stand in your way is yourself from achieving your goals. But some people who don't compete and some people who are cocky and usually haven't accomplished anything, they think you versus you is scared of competition.
Right.
They're like, oh, you want to say you versus you just so you don't have to have no standards or so you don't have to um, have something to, I guess, hold you accountable. Like if you say, um, man, I'm gonna go try to beat that guy, and you don't, then they talk crap. But the most important thing, like you said, is beating your previous best, beating your best, because that's how you grow.
Mm-hmm.
If you start here and you're chasing somebody who's been in the game this long, man, I mean, you'll probably fail short, but you're not really seeing that you started here, and when you did fail, you're here, and then you failed again, you're here. You're not giving yourself credit for the levels and your growth along the way.
And I didn't do that. My homeboy Pat Gooden, he showed me, the real basics of, working out and going there with a plan. And he helped mold me a lot to get to where I am now because he broke everything down. He does his own thing. He does his training and has his own little business going on. But
Mm.
I gotta give him a lot of props because he helped me get to the point where I am today and like instilled it in me that hey, going there with a plan or going there and look stuff up. It's a science behind working out.
Oh yeah.
It just ain't you know lifting weights. It's a lot that goes into it. I said people be like, you gotta dig down into it, and I say, you can't just jump into it. I say get constructive criticism too. I mean, people are there to help you. Nobody's there to really judge you. If they are, I'm saying they're dicks and they're not really in
Yeah.
there for the right reason. But I tell people all the time, everybody's in the gym to help you.
Yeah.
If you ask somebody, hey, can you help me spot? You know what I'm saying? Or can you show me how to do this? Man, they'll be willing to help you because hell, they want the same thing that you want. They want to see you grow too.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of
That's
people
that's true.
just got it wrong.
I met a lot of people. I remember at the first the Aerofit back in the day. Man, I met a lot of old school guys, but they're the ones that usually were willing to reach out and help you the most. The old heads, and I guess that's what we are now. Now that time's gone on, we're kind of the older ones. We don't feel like it, but yeah, it's our job to continue
I had
helping.
somebody
But
call me sir, so that's why I knew it was over for me.
one of the things they've been calling me, man, is Unc.
Ew.
And I'm like, man, when I first heard that, I was like, man, honestly, um, from like the time I grew up and stuff, I never called people Unc, but it's some of this new generation thing.
Old head. That's what we
Yeah,
know about.
but yeah, one thing that I like to, or I believe in is quality, man. If you can do things differently, but if there's no quality, you won't get results. Like if I give you, and I this is how I train my kids too. If you do a set 3 by 10, that's your rep scheme, 3 sets of 10, and I do 3 sets of 10. If you grab the dumbbells, let's say we're doing curls. If you just like not alternating curls, but just dumbbell curls, if you just go like two all the way to 10, and you're like, all right, I finished that set. And you run through that same approach on all your exercises. You get it done, right? You get the 3x10 done.
Yeah.
But if I do mine, like, all right, and I get a squeeze at the top, I have control, and that's how I train. Who's gonna have the better results? The person who's just sitting there slinging the weights around, or someone the mind muscle connection sitting here just getting squeezed. So just quality, man. And with my kids, when we start off a new block, I make sure that they approach everything with quality. We usually go through a hypertrophy phase at the beginning, like getting back into things. And if they got a 3x10 or a 3x12 or something, they want to get through that set. They're like, man, I'm just trying to get through these reps.
They want to get out of the way.
As we go and we progress, the next week the RPs might change and you're going to have a little bit more weight. You're going to crash and burn real quick.
Because you didn't do it right.
Because you haven't built a strong foundation.
Yeah, you get what's say half success of it.
Yeah. So you said you mentioned like being bipolar. Were you like diagnosed with that, or
Yeah.
What age were you diagnosed with that?
Man, I was like, I want to say elementary school. Man, I was a bad kid at elementary school, man. Like I hated the world. And man, I used to, back in the day we had those scissors that were like steel.
Oh, okay.
With the black
one.
Yeah,
the black
iron.
Top.
Man, I used to throw those at teachers.
Dang.
I used to throw sharpened pencils at teachers. I used to get pissed off real quick. And then when I did, like say a minute or so later, I'll be calm and I really don't know what the hell happened.
Oh man.
And then they telling me, this and that, because every time it happens, like I was in a trance and you got stuff going on, but after everything in the dust settles, you just like, all right, what's going on? What happened?
Yeah.
And you be like, hey, what did I do? But in reality, you did some shit.
Man, that's crazy. I never like looked into like, cause people toss it around, or they have. Anytime I heard about anybody saying bipolar, I always thought like people use it as like being like sarcastic or trying to be humorous. But I never knew like that. That's how
it's real, because
happens,
like
man.
I could be sitting here like this, right, and then say I get a bad phone call or somebody say something stupid, like the mood will just change. You just go zoom, you zoom it down, and you be pissed off, and you just sitting there serious, and your whole mood thought of it, and another person can feel it too.
Yeah.
So like it changes in an instant, and then like when it's over and done with, man, you go about like everything's cool, everything's fine. And the person like, did you not remember how you just talked to me or how you just did that? You're like, oh well, you don't feel the way. You don't feel the way about it. You still happy. You still cool. But it affects people you love like bad.
But do you know, like, I don't mean to cut you off, but so being diagnosed with that early at a young age and knowing that you had that all the way to where you are now, do you know that, because I mean, obviously you have it under control, and you've gotten better with it over the years. Technically, that's a training in its own.
Oh man, it's tough.
Because early on you say you can control it, and now that you've been doing it so many years, literally you've been training your whole life with that.
I've had a good about 5 or more years of anger management.
Mm-hmm.
And man, in there, that was like the toughest stuff ever, because like they make you intentionally mad. And it's like, you gotta be in there. I had to graduate. I got a diploma for graduating from there. They thought my anger was so bad, but to myself, I was thinking like, it's not that bad. Like, what do you mean? But then I got in a fight in school, and then I whooped them to the point where I guess it was bad. I didn't think it was bad. And they sent me there. So, man, it's really tough dealing with it growing up, because like, man, when you first get diagnosed with stuff, or you think that you're not normal. Yeah. You think that, people are going to look at you different. And you really don't love yourself, because that's what I say, you feel like you don't fit in. But, as you get older, you learn to love yourself, and then tell yourself that, hey, it's all in my head, or, I can control something, or, I want to change the narrative. I don't want people to just see me as this person that does, this 1 minute, the next minute. Like, if I don't want that image, and I know I can control myself, and I can get under the control, man, I'm going to do it, because, like, they say it's a mind thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people
think everything is,
man, like with some people though, it feels good to them, because like, say if I'm pissed off, I want to get you pissed off. And when I get you pissed off, it feels good to me. So like they'll say some petty, spiteful stuff, say some stuff that hurts you, irritates you, get you mad, get you out of your element. And when they do that, it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm satisfied. Then I toned down, I'm back to normal. But you're pissed off.
Almost like that thing, like misery needs company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna be miserable, damn it, you're gonna be miserable. That's how a lot of
Damn.
people thought about it. And
Yeah, I struggled. I don't, and like you said at the time, when I was younger, I had a lot of anger issues, man. And I think it was, um, if I had to say anything, that it was because it was probably like not feeling like I wasn't wanted when I was younger. When my mom raised us, you know, there was five of us, so she was working a lot of jobs, and we were on like HUD, welfare, food stamps, all that stuff. And
them days.
you know, we didn't have like the family trips like that I'm able to give my kids now. And I tell my kids all the time, man, I probably remember like maybe five movie outings in my whole life when I was younger, but they go to the movies whenever any new movies get released. And you know, I think probably then, and not having other thing was I didn't have like an older brother, and then I didn't have the father figure. So uh man, I didn't really have that guidance, and being I was smaller all the time when I was younger, so got picked on here, or try to get picked on, and then uh, like it would make me feel like I had to like hold my own, and defend myself, like whatever my area that's me. So eventually, I would fight, man. I was almost like a honey badger, man. It's like, hey, if as long as you respect my space, because it started off them picking at me, and I would get real hot. Like my skin would get hot. I didn't know how to deal with that, and get upset. I get uncomfortable. I didn't like being the center of anybody's like humiliation, or center of a joke.
Man, what?
And the thing is, the only way I knew how to deal with it, being picked on, was, hey, once you make me so uncomfortable, and then it turns physical, I would defend myself. And it was push, and then I was never afraid to take a punch, and then everything go red, and we fight.
That's it.
And then eventually, I got a reputation to where it was like, hey man, he may be small, but he's gonna fight you no matter what.
Say, you wanna
And-
go out to John.
and that's how it was. And it's not something that I'm proud of. It's just something that some, like, I guess a learning point in my life, and it made me who I am today. That's why I never regret anything of the past, because that's made us who we are today. And we've overcome that, and it's a part of our story. But yeah, like I used to like snap on anybody, man. Anybody that made me uncomfortable, I just I didn't care. If you were trying to, insult me, or make me feel bad and small, and hurt me, then, man, I was gonna do the same thing to you, man. So, like, I dealt with anger
Just say
issues.
laugh at my pain.
Yep. So, like, with those things, and having those kind of issues, growing up, man, do you think that do you recommend to people that are listening, that are dealing with like bipolar, or feel like that, um, do you recommend them going to see help, like you said?
I'd say this. I mean, if you seek help, it's not a problem. I mean, it is not. It doesn't make you any more different than anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, seek help because you can only do it so long by yourself, to where you're gonna crash and hit a wall, to where you ball so much in that you're gonna just explode, and you're not gonna know how to handle it. You're not gonna know what to think. You may think, all right, I'm strong-willed minded. I can deal with it on my own. But man, the more pressure you put on yourself, the more you weigh yourself down. And when you weigh yourself down, you get to that point. It's gonna be a point to where you're not gonna know left from right.
Yeah.
You're not gonna know how to deal with it. And I believe, that's why sometimes some people commit suicide. I don't condone in it, because, like I say, it's mind over matter. But you do have some people who do go through that and just hit that point to where, like, I want everything to stop. This is my only
yeah.
out. But that's not your only out. Like, get help. Like, what I do every night before I go to sleep is I sit and think about my day. I reflect on everything.
Yeah,
I think about it from top to bottom. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? How could I handle the situation better? How can I be better as a person? And sometimes it takes that to help you grow. And you can write stuff down. Like, don't hold anything in. Find somebody that you see comfort in, that you can talk to, that you can feel real comfortable letting secrets out that you keep to yourself, that you might take to the grave. And once you get that out, you'll feel better. And then, like you say, you start feeling accepted. You start feeling like, okay, somebody really out there does care
They
about
care
me.
about you, yeah.
Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I care about you. Oh, I give you this and that. Just call me." And that only lasts for like maybe a week or so, or like maybe a month, and then it's all back to reality. You try to call them, you try to give that,
Yeah,
it
cause
does, it doesn't work out the way that they say it is. Oh, well, I'm busy and this and that. Oh, really? You
yeah.
grown? You should be able to handle this. And then, but you still think about, okay, they say I can call them, I can reach out to them.
So then you feel disappointed, let
Yeah,
down,
like
right?
it hurts like hell. It's like, getting dropped off somewhere you want to get dropped off at. Hey, I'll come pick you up later.
Oh
It's
man.
it's a this is demoralizing feeling.
But I'm glad that you said it though, man, because I know like a lot of people, they're one, you have people who are embarrassed to seek help because they're real prideful,
Hmm.
and then there's other people that feel like they can get through it on their own. But man, that's the thing, is these people are professionals, man. This is what they've learned, and they have a lot of experience. Um, but man, it's not, it's never a weakness to seek help or
You'll
anything,
weigh
man.
yourself down trying to do it by yourself.
Because
You can find your faith in God, or like I said, you talk to somebody that you really care about, somebody that really cares about you. Make sure they genuinely care about you before you share anything with them that you're not comfortable with sharing with them.
yeah, man. So with that, like to go along with that, do you or would you recommend like fitness for people who struggle with that? You know?
Fitness. I recommend fitness. 'Cause I use fitness as that, because if I had a bad day or I'm stressed out, I use the weights and use that and channel everything into working out. Because I can take it out on the weights. Yeah, you may feel violent, you may feel like hitting somebody, you may feel like doing something destructive, but that comes with consequences. You go to jail, or you get a fine, or you hurt yourself. But going into the gym and using it, it's like the weights can't feel anything.
Yeah,
I can slam these motherfuckers. I can push as much as I can. I can wear myself out and use all the energy that I
it's a
have
good little
stored up
outlet,
to,
huh?
yeah,
Yeah,
to work out. That's why they always say, the gym is just not physically, it's mentally. Like, you'll let a lot loose in the gym. You'll feel a lot better. You may not solve the problem that you have, but you'll feel like you have a weight lifted off of you.
heck yeah, yeah. That's how I feel a lot, man. Like the fitness and training, it definitely is something that I look forward to, and it's I mean it. I think that I'm not gonna say that it's gonna make every single day good, because sometimes you're gonna have bad days. But what I think fitness is good for is just making you stronger, because there's days that I have a bad day and I go in there and everything feels heavy and it feels bad. But the thing that I accomplish is that I'm able to get through it. And
Hmm.
if I've gotten through that on my worst day, it's gonna make my good days even better. So I
Yeah,
do.
it's like I'm already here, so I might as well,
Yeah,
I
just
might as
go
well
through it,
make something
man.
happen.
It's gonna make the good days even easier, man. And like we talked about earlier, there's no losses, man. It's about learning, so you can always learn something from those days. And I don't really feel like there's no good days and bad days, man. It's just more about your mindset and how you look at it, man. Because with training too in the gyms, what I love, man. My friend Gerardo at the gym put me on that Bruce Lee book, with his daughter. That wrote a book. It's pretty good. It's on Audible. And I'm still listening to it, but the reason I like that book is because they teach you a lot. But man, one thing that I learned from like the gym, and the reason I love the gym and the community and people in there, is because man, some days I go in, I'm like, man, I'm gonna put my freaking headphones on. I don't feel like dealing with anybody. I'm having a bad day, and I'm gonna go in there. But it goes back to the whole thing about family and being a part of something. I go in there, I don't want to be bothered. I'm gonna knock at this training. I got stuff to do. But I go in there, I may see you in there,
Mm-hmm.
and you in there training. You're like, "What's up, John?" And I'm like, "What's up?" And you might see that I'm having a bad day, or you
Yeah.
might see I'm frustrated in my face, but you might say, "Hey man, how's this going?" And I might be like, "What's up?" But then just the engagement and the interaction with you, man, you might change my whole day, man.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen so many times, and I've also seen that happen to others. I can see the tension, the frustration. I talk to them first; they're a little like slow to like engage, and then eventually, man, they're smiling, they're
On
happy,
their
man.
toes, they don't know what they get into. As I say, I'm gonna read you until I know, hey, this person is this kind of person. Okay, then I'm like, all right, let's
Yeah,
go out. Let's
yeah, it's always good. I'll get ready to close this out. So, what are some of the goals that you have for yourself? They don't have to be fitness related. I know that you said you had some like projects that you wanted to work on, or something that you may have like for yourself, like by the end of the year, maybe.
I say the main thing is just being a better person and being a better father. Like, oh, my kids love the hell out of me, but I always think, how can I be better? Because I don't want to disappoint those girls, and then like I don't want to leave them earlier than I need to. So
For
that's another
sure.
reason why I dedicate myself to fitness so much. And those girls really changed, a lot in my life because I believe, if I had boys, I probably wouldn't be the way I am now. Because with girls, it was able to open up a more soft side of me, a
Oh
sensitive
yeah,
side. I didn't
I
always
know
have to.
exactly what you mean,
I
man.
didn't have to be on my guard so much. I didn't have to be a hard ass so much. So that's how I am with them. And to me, it's like, teaching the goals is to teach my girls, to be strong women, have your own mind, don't follow the crowd, right from wrong. If some kid is doing something and it's not right, don't follow that. Hey, let them do what they're gonna do, stay strong, focus, and you can be whatever you want in this world because you're only in the way of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is to just keep the longevity of health and keep trying to push myself every day and try to learn more every day. When if it comes from you or if it comes from anybody else to help me get to my point to where I need to get to because I'm trying to just have a good balance of physique, shred, and
Yeah.
muscle mass.
Yeah.
So that is my main thing right now. And like I've told you, I'm trying to get lower on the body percent fat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's real challenging. It's not easy,
Oh
but
no.
the fact that it is challenging, it makes me more motivated. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
to want to attack it. Yeah.
because like if I don't do it right, I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. I think to myself, dang man, you set this goal, man, you need to reach it.
Yeah, accountability.
So
But I love what you said though earlier about like self reflecting, because that's one thing that I love to do, man. And I tell people that each night, man, I do the same thing, and that's another reason why I wanted to bring him on the podcast because I feel like I can relate to him, and we're very similar in ways. Uh, every day, I love before I go to bed to like self evaluate, like to like look at my whole day, and especially having kids. How can I be a better parent? How can I be a better husband? How can I be better at so many different categories? And each day, I guess, try to visualize or put a plan together that's gonna help me become better. Like that's all I'm trying to do each day is to improve and not have um, um, so much. Put in a play executing better, man. Like if I tell and to keep my word, if I tell my daughter, hey, we're gonna go do this, or I
yeah.
tell my son I'm gonna do this, if I'm not able to do it on that day, I don't want to be a liar,
hmm
and I need to put myself in the best place to be able to make those things happen. So
Man,
every
I tell
day.
you one experience that we did when we took the kids to Disney World. And my dad always said that he wanted to take us to Disney World. He never got a chance to, and that sucked. So being able to take my kids to Disney World and experience for myself too, and it brought the kid out of me. It made me
Dang,
happy. It made me sad at the same time. I shed a couple tears because I got to do this with my kids,
that's
and
awesome.
it sucked because he didn't you know get the experience with me, but I know he's there with me. And I hate the fact that my kids never saw him, they never met him. But I always keep his memory alive and know who he is. And I say that's part for me that sucks a lot. But at the same time, that does make me want to be a better parent to my kids because like I said, I just want to be there.
But you're the best way to represent them, through the way you live your life,
Took a lot of bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
Oh man, it took a long time for me to get right, man. I mean, I was cocky, I was ignorant.
But like with anime and stuff, overcoming obstacles, man. Your scars is why you are. If you look at the strongest like superheroes and anime characters and everything,
Tragic
look at their
backstories.
stories and their backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like none of them had and then usually like they say, if it's easy, it's not gonna be worth anything.
Mm-mm.
So.
Like, you ask yourself, did I really work for it, or did I just get it?
I believe there's only one way, and that's the hard way, man. That you gotta earn it. It's better when it's earned.
Yeah.
So as we close out, I always got a bonus question, and this one is: if you could have any superpower or be any superhero, or maybe in your case, anime, who would it be? Why? Or what?
It's tough when there's so many out there. Okay, but if I had a superpower, it would always be super speed. I love the Flash.
Speed.
Batman was my guy, but Flash was like super speed.
All right.
Oh man, if I was a guy in anime, I'd say it'd be a little bit of Goku and Vegeta.
Okay.
I don't want to be as dumb as Goku.
Hey, Gogeta.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just the balance of both. You know what I'm saying? Where he just stupid like Goku is.
Heck yeah. That's dope. This is a good one, man. That was a long one. Again, thanks to Josh for coming through.
I appreciate you having me on there. I had a lot of fun today.
It was dope. We'll definitely run it back in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you all for tuning in. If you could, sub if you aren't already. Share this if you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up button. And that's it. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, Bob.